how about a weekend ramble? Because I'm at the shop and it's lonely, actually. Just me and Dusty and the bike and the scooter and some other Dusties. All right, I'm not that lonely. I got cars I can talk to. That's fun, right? Anyway, it's been raining and it's been gloomy, and that's fall in Florida. Rainy and gloomy for like a couple of weeks. But the rain did stop for a little bit, so I wanted to show you guys one of the cars that we have. We had a really cool S13 with an S15. We had it touched up, and now she's hanging out. We got this car in a little while back. You might remember, you might see it in the videos. But really nice. These cars are cool. This car still here, FD. Big plans for that. Starting to get some ideas for this. So stay tuned for that. But anyway, kind of slow up. That's how you break a camera, or almost break a camera. I caught it. Anyway, slow day. And I just wanted to catch up with you guys, talk a little bit. Here's my scooter, if you guys haven't seen that. Fun stuff. I'm still procrastinating on the Copart RZR. I got all the parts here. I'm just gonna slowly build my confidence to start putting it back together, because I really do need the space, and we've got a lot of projects in the house right now. So RB26 build, two JZs, which you saw in my 4JZ video, which, haha, laugh. Just humor me and laugh. But really cool. We got a lot of good stuff going on. So Dusty, I was going to tell you a little story. The other day when I drove Dusty, I didn't show it on camera, but I had a little mishap. Not the truck that pulled out in front of me, but I went to go make a pull, and in order to impress Carla, I went to make a pull, and instead I made an ass of myself, because Dusty decided to break a hose that was in the tank. And I stupidly forgot that when last time I threw these pumps into the car, I used the wrong hose. And I knew it was the wrong hose at the time. I just didn't have the right hose. And you guys know, the right hose is very important. So the hose that I put in there was not fuel safe, and it bursted eventually. I just forgot about it. And I meant to replace it. It's not a customer's car, so I kind of am okay with that. It's my fault, my car. But fixed it up, and then went and made the pull. So I didn't show that on camera because it kind of didn't fit the narrative, but I still admit to it. Anyway, Dusty's sitting pretty, all good. We made a couple of dyno pulls after that just to make sure, and she's still healthy, still ripping. For those of you who have never seen it, this is my Skyline, Dusty. It's a HKS turbo, full bolt-on E85 setup. It makes around 630, 650 horsepower at the wheels. So, anywho, I'm gonna get out of here. I've had enough talking with these cars. Let's go do something else. All right. So in the spirit of, I'm gonna call it the weekend, let's change gears. Let's get off the cars for a little bit. If all you want to see is cars, switch the channel, go watch something else, because I'm gonna really bore you guys now. We're gonna talk about another one of Jack's dumb hobbies, whatever you want to call it. But so I teased you guys once about this. I know like 4 of you are going to be into this video, so whatever. It's what I'm doing. here's my radios. Let's talk about them. So I like the idea of having communication in case of a problem. It's happened before. It might happen again. I don't know. The last time it happened was hurricanes back in like 2005. But let me tell you, for 2 weeks, I didn't have anything. No phones, no power. It was bad. And it made it really difficult for me to do stuff on my own, you know? Because it was weird. It was like pioneer days. I would leave and just be like, okay, I'm gonna be back in 2 hours. If I'm not back in 2 hours, send the cavalry. I don't know. So anyway, that got me thinking. And back then I really wasn't into it as much, but now I've got a setup. And I've been playing with these radios. These are little Chinese Baofeng radios that are able to operate on the amateur frequencies. So you have to have a license to use one, but in case of an emergency, you can use one. That's the law. So I have them, and I'm not gonna use them, I swear. Or maybe I have a license. You don't know that. Either way, it is really cool. You're able to create a network, if you will. I've been looking at it. There's a bunch of stuff you can do. You can create basically a network using these and creating repeaters and stuff like that. For those of you who are into radios, you're gonna learn nothing by watching this. But for those of you who don't, get yourself one of these. These are cheap. I don't even know if you can. I heard that they were becoming illegal or something, but these are like $20. You can order them on eBay. They're really cool. Good to have. And I one-upped it. I went even further because you know how I am. I don't just leave well enough alone. I decided that I was going to have another option just in case. And these are a 5-watt radio. And this one's an 8-watt radio. And I bought a little power tester too with some antennas so we can test it. I did everything. You know how I am. I go all the way. I also wanted to have the ability to reach out even further though. And in doing so, I got these amplifiers. So same company that makes the radio makes these cool little amplifiers that takes you from a 5-watt radio, or in this case an 8-watt on one of them, but either way, takes you from a 5-watt radio all the way to a 25-watt radio. And you can probably double your range by using one of these. And also, we got some antennas. So this is a cool little antenna, and a lot of people can probably do it yourself, make one better than this, but a little Nagoya antenna, not a big deal. Hooks right onto the top of the radio through the amplifier, and then you've got a nice powerful unit, and you get a good antenna hung up outside, and you can talk for miles and miles. Shaw and I tested the radios out. We were able to communicate from the shop to his farm, and that's quite a distance. Not too shabby. So that was really cool to be able to have that type of communication. And in a situation where you're out of communication, you don't have phones and all this stuff, it's in your best interest for you to have one of these. You can still get the emergency channels. There are repeaters set up that are amateur operated, so you don't have to worry about like the government shutting it down. And it allows you to stay in touch with a group of people who are well versed in communications, and I respect that. I'm not going to be, bouncing all over the airwaves doing radio checks with these things. I know it works. So, long story short, good radio, $20, super cheap, and a lot of options. You can change the antennas. There's all kinds of cool little gadgets and stuff you can get for them. I've got the programming cable so that it makes programming a breeze. Millions of options. Insane. Works on VHF and UHF frequencies. And it also picks up, the typical FM radio stuff as well. So, here's my pro tip. Get yourself one of these. For those of you who don't know, I'm not a prepper, but I've got what I need to sustain if I need to. So, And I don't, maybe it's just the Florida guy in me, but that's just how I've always been. Don't rely on other people, because when the shit hits the fan, so to speak, you're not going to have many people on your side. Everybody's going to be looking for food, gas, water, that kind of crap. And, so what? If it never happens, great. I spent $20 on some little toy radios, or $40, or $60, or... Okay, you know what? That's enough. You guys don't need to stress me on this. Buy a little fun radio. Let's talk.